both wheels are decoupled. So that means rather than them both turning to the left or turning to the right together, potentially you can have one turn to the left and one turn to the right. Normally you do want them to be coupled together, and when you have a mechanical solution, that just happens naturally from the design. So there's two actuators in there. Given the size of the actuators, they're not the same size kind of motors that you would actually use to propel the vehicle forward. You don't need that much torque. They look like they're about the size of some of the Optimus actuators. So, does that mean they are repurposing some of the Optimus actuators for other aspects of the vehicle? If they are, that means they've got a line that's producing those particular actuators.
Right.
Or are they an offshoot of it? Is it something specially designed for this that has nothing to do with Optimus, or is some sort of derivative? And we know Tesla is able to build their own motors. The question is, are they already building the motors they need for Optimus already? And it has been mentioned that starting in November, and if I look at, oh, it's the last day of November.
It's almost December, folks.
The actuators that were designed for Optimus should be ready, and that might mean they're looking for other applications to use these servos somewhere else. And that makes sense, because then you start reducing your supply chain issues, and whatever expertise you have in being able to produce a certain kind of componentry, you can now do it somewhere else and not have to pay the extra cost and the delivery and the logistics issues that kind of come along with trying to get components from somewhere else.
Right. Gotcha. I don't know, you got something to add to that, or? Okay, yeah, so we were actually geeking out looking at the video, and we're trying to determine if this was, oh, here we go, we got some video. So
what I suggest, I'm going to move out of the way here so you can all see it.
Yeah, Scott is going to give us the look at it ahead. We've got a monitor down here. So this would be the front drive assembly unit. The very front part is what we believe are thank you for stopping it, that's perfect. So yeah, if you want to look here, these guys would be the actuators that would be so this sort of cylindrical looking thing, and then it goes off to the right in this case.
Right along.
Oh, Scott, there we go. So perfect. So yeah, we've got these, all right, here we go. Who needs to sit? We're gonna stand up. Yeah, folks. So anyway, we've got the shock tower here, which is huge. We've got the wheel, so this would be where the wheel would be, it's the brake pads and stuff like that. And then normally there would be linkages, but here you can see it's just an actuator with just a cylinder arm that comes out and can actually rotate the wheel around. And there's another one, you can't see it right now, but there's another one over on this side.
Here, before we go,
yes.
This here is the actual motor, and then this part is going to be the gearbox that runs, and I believe this is basically a rack and pinion system, so there is a gear that drives off of this gearbox, and then there is a straight gear, a pinion, that would run back and forth to actuate that rod back.
Right. So it's, and then you were talking about, Scott, right, that you think there's a joint in here to allow some flexibility for movement.
Yeah, exactly. You would need to make sure, because the suspension system is moving up and down, and unless you want this motor to be able to rotate, which is not, it's affixed to the structure, you need to have something here to be able to keep on changing its position. Otherwise, you're going to snap any linkage you have in there. So it's, it's like a universal joint that they probably have in there, and it's hidden. It's covered up by this to protect it.
So yeah, so basically, and you're pretty much of the opinion linear actuator here. So the actuator would rotate, but it would push the the pin out.
Yeah, the push rod.
Yeah. So the really cool part about this is, if you guys are right, yeah, here we go. So we can see the other side over here, and it's kind of flipped upside down. So you were noting that they only have to make one skew. They only have to make one part, and they take the part and they flip it 180 degrees, and it works in both directions. So instead of having to make two parts, they make one part, and they just flip it, which is, genius.
And I think it's probably
so
highly
instead of making
likely
a mirrored version.
Right.
So normally you'd expect that this be a perfect mirror of this or that.
Right.
They just used rotational symmetry rather than a mirror.
And one other really cool part about this is that this could enable right-hand driving very easily. So people in Australia, in Great Britain, etc., it looks like you could easily shift. Sorry about that. Thank you. You could easily shift from left-hand driving to right-hand driving, because it would be, you don't have to have the linkages and everything that go through the vehicle, so you don't have to redo the whole thing. You just move the steering wheel over to the right-hand side. So that would be, for the people who are in Australia, the UK, etc., they're going to be very happy to hear this, because it probably means they'll get the vehicle sooner than they thought they were going to. So yeah,